Welcome everybody to a late night Sugma program. We got quite the show tonight. We're gonna be talking about all sorts of things, all sorts of genres of topics tonight. First of all, I guess tell y'all about how my week went. I went outside. That's crazy, right? Like I went out into the world this week. And I was like, you know what? I haven't gone to the mall since. Actually, I went to the mall in Chicago. I went to All Out a while back, but that was kind of a situation where I was like, you know what? I'm risking so much going to a 10,000 person event. Like, who cares? Going to the malls, whatever. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the mall, see what's going on, going during the week. Not a lot of people there. But a lot of people weren't wearing masks. And I'm like, damn, bro, no wonder. Like, dog, everyone's vaccinated. I mean, not everybody, but there's a lot of people vaccinated. And, like, no wonder the cases are going up when you got so many people who are like, you know what? Fuck it, the pandemic's over. I'm just not gonna, like, do anything to, like, try and, like, prevent the spread of COVID. So, like, that, I was kind of enlightened by that. I was, like, one of the only people who was like, you know what? Nah, I'm staying masked up. But a peculiar thing happened. I got approached by a recruiter from the Marine Corps, which, like, I'm over here, I'm like, dude, I'm, like, old as hell, especially, like, online. I see so many, like, Zoomers out here, and they're, like, calling me dad. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, dude, I'm an old-ass man. Like, why are you coming up to me being like, yo, dude, you gotta join the Marines? I'm like, bro, what? And, like, here's the thing, is I got really good in high school, because, like, there would always be Marine recruiters at my high school, because they were like, I don't know, I guess it's just like that type of area where, like, they're like, yo, dude, listen, we can get these kids into the Marines. And, like, they would see me and they would be like, yo, this kid's a wrestler, this kid's, like, you know, somewhat able-bodied, like, and they would try and get me to join. I would just be like, fuck off. So I got really good at that. Meanwhile, there are other kids who were like, hell yeah, brother, yeah, I want to join the Marines. I don't want to be a pussy in the army. I don't want to be one of these pussies. I want to go in the Marines. I hope we go to war with China and North Korea, because I want to be killing civilians in all sorts of countries. I'm like, bro, can you chill the fuck out? Like, we got Algebra 2 next. Like, we got Algebra 2 in 5 minutes. You need to, like, settle down. But anyways, like, this dude comes up to me, and, like, I got so good at, like, telling these guys to, like, fuck off. But he, like, gaslight girl bossed his way in, because he was just like, hey, don't I know you from somewhere? And I'm like, another fan. Yes, I am. I'm a Twitch streamer. But no, I was like, I don't know. He's like, do you go to school around here? I'm like, not for a long ass time, bro. Like, I graduated from community college back in 2017. But, like, he like worked his way in with conversation. So, like, I was kind of like vulnerable, you know? I was vulnerable to the fact that I was like, you know, oh my god, someone's actually speaking to me, bro. Like, it's been so long. I've been inside for so long. And, like, he starts pivoting the pitch towards, like, damn, bro, you're pretty jacked. Have you ever thought about, you know, you can get some pretty decent benefits if you join the Marines. Chances are you won't even be deployed, which I've said before, I think, on this broadcast. Like, homies join the Marines and act like they're so hard, but realistically, they're just signing up to go on a base, work out, and jerk off for 6 years, and then they get their VA status, and then they're chilling. But, like, dog, it was kind of crazy, like, the way that, like, they sell it to people. And for one, I was like, yo, dude, I'm about to turn 24, and he's like, don't matter, we still want you. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, I'm old as fuck, bro. I'm geriatric at this point. Don't you got, like, some impoverished high schoolers to harass? I don't know, like. But yeah, that was an interesting experience. But yeah, no, okay, so something that, like, kind of bothers me a little bit is I'm actually, like, I think that, like, don't ask, don't tell, and, like, the trans ban in the military, I was actually, like, kind of in favor of that for my own selfish benefits, because it's like, yo, dude, listen, if I'm gay, I can just be like, you know, oh, sorry, like, there's a draft, sorry, dude, I like guys, sorry, like, can't join. And then, like, they got rid of that, and I'm like, shit. Well, you know what? I think gender is fake. For me, my gender identity, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't feel dysphoria either way. Like, I'm cool being a dude. That's the main, like, I would never transition because I have no reason to. Like, I'm a guy. I'm pretty happy being a guy. Like, I'm vibing with this role right now. Like, I get privilege and shit. Like, damn, that's pretty nice. Like, and also, like, I'm not doing a bad job being a man. Like, I'm doing a pretty good job, I feel like. But if I woke up a woman tomorrow, just, like, full stop, I would be like, alright, guess we doing this now. Like, I wouldn't be upset. Like, I wouldn't feel dysphoric about it. And I guess that's kind of like what my gender identity is. I don't know. I still get cis privilege. I'm not gonna be like, yo, dude, I'm like somewhere in between, because I'm not. I'm cis. That's what I got. Yo, what's up? Thank you, Boss 2K Gamer, for the follow. I'm just chilling. Like, I'm just chilling with my gender. But my plan was, if there was ever a draft or anything, and they were like, yo, trans people can't be in the military, I would be like, ah, shit. Sorry, I guess I'm trans. Like, I would just start transitioning right then and there. I'd be like, fuck, dude. Guess I can't join the military. Sucks to suck, guys. Then they were like, yo, we're gonna let trans people in the military. And here's the thing. Of course, being in the military, being in the army, being in Marine Corps or whatever, there's a ton of benefits that come with it. And that's why a lot of people do it. There's a segment of the population that is just like, yee, hope we go to war with China so I can go and kill some Chinese. Like, there's a section of the population like that. But everybody else who joins the army, they're like, bro, I am shit out of luck. Yo, thank you, Decora Demon Draws. But like, the rest of the population that joins the army, they're just shit out of luck. They're like, dude, I need to do something. Like, I need some way of like moving up the social ladder. And if it has to be through the military, I guess that's just what I gotta do. You know, that's a big thing that should be available to people, even if they're gay or even if they're trans. But let's be real. That's not the reason why they're doing it. That's not the, like, why is it that like trans and gay people do not have so many rights in society, but like the priority is like, we gotta get them in the military? That is some straight up lib shit, dude. Like, they're like, yo, dude, like, oh, y'all want your right to be in a public bathroom protected? I mean, that's crazy, dude. But like, first off, you deserve the right to go to a foreign country and get your dick blown off by some random fucking person who's trying to defend their way of life, as we and our imperial regime are just fucking their entire infrastructure and their entire country up. Like, you deserve the right to go and die for your country. Die for all the rich capital owners. Die for your government that doesn't give a fuck about you. And that's the first and foremost thing about the rights of marginalized people in America. Like, fuck the whole, like, marriage equality shit, which we technically have, but it's kind of like abortion at this point, where it's kind of shaky. Like, they could overturn that shit at any moment, it feels like. And like, being trans in America is just like, bro, I'm sorry. Like, that shit just sucks. Like, there's no other identity in America that sucks more than being trans. Like, you are just shit out of luck. Poggers, die for my country, Kekona. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, that comes before everything else. Oh, you want actual rights? That's crazy, dude. Anyways, like, so you gonna sign up and get that VA loan from the Marines or what, you know? Yeah, so I thought that was crazy. That's literally, bro, that one interaction. I'm like, bro, I'm not going outside again, bro. I go outside for an hour once, like, since COVID and all this shit. Like, I go out just alone in like a very public place for the first time in like 2 years, and I get approached to join the Marine Corps. Like, bro, the US government needs to chill. The straights are not okay. Bro, the straights are fine. They're trying to maneuver their way into not giving, like, bro, how can you say that there's no trans rights? You know, like, we just gave you the right to join the military. Like, you got that right. Also, like, I just want to say right now, like, if I'm using, like, military, army, marine, like, incorrectly, like, I don't know the difference, dude. I just know it, like, Marines especially get really pissed off if you're like, oh, so you're joining the army? Nah, I'm joining the Marines. I ain't one of them pussies. And it's like, chill. Like, bro, I don't know a difference, dude. I'm a normal human being. I'm a normal functioning human being. Like, I don't know, like, the correct, like, dog, that's the crazy thing, though. It's like, they're gonna be mad about, like, neo-pronouns and shit, which, like, to be honest, my stance on neo-pronouns is like, bro, we can't even get people to acknowledge that they, them can be used singularly. Maybe we need to, like, slow it down a little bit, like, take this one step at a time. But, like, at the same time, how are we gonna be like that when I don't know what the fuck a army versus marine versus armed forces versus, like, I don't know a difference. I mean, I know it, like, Navy is in water, Army is earth, Air Force is air, and then, like, the Marines tag along with the Navy, and, like, once in a blue moon when they actually need ground forces for a Navy, they go out. But for the most part, you're just sitting on a base, just jerking off and working out. Like, I mean, to be honest, I'd be jerking off and working out regardless, but like I would rather do that without the looming possibility of me having to go and kill like civilians in our country. And also like I don't want to have a dude in the bunk above me who's also doing the same thing. Like that's a little bit awkward. Anyways, let's move on to let's talk about Twitch rivals. Twitch rivals, for those of you who don't know, I don't know entirely what it is, to be honest. It's like just Twitch being like, yo dude, we got a bunch of partners, we got a bunch of creators that we can use to make content, so let's make content. And that's what they do. And that's what they're doing this week with a bunch of big creators. And like I could go through, do like full coverage, full play-by-play, talk about everything that happened, but like that would take a while. And also I'm not gonna leech off bigger streamers this entire time. Not the entire time. We have a segment. We have segments dedicated to that. And this is a segment, but we don't want that to take up the whole show. So let's just move on, and I want to just like talk about the one part that stood out to me. So let's watch this.
4, 3, 2, 1. Game on! Oh, this is dead even. Uber, are you kidding me? This is a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Look at the muscles on these competitors. There are a lot of bodies heaving right now. Tyler, one of the four on this left side, trying to keep it going. But look at
Bro, I just want to acknowledge like how hilarious this tug of war is. Because, like, you see a bunch of people behind, but, like, Tyler 1 is literally carrying the entire team. He just walked up to the front of the line and was like, all right, guys, I got this. And he just grabbed the rope, and he's the one, like, everybody else is just doing, like, placebo. He's the one who's just like, all right, I'm doing this. And then on the other side, you literally have, like, a bunch of gamers, and then you have Hassan and Will in the back. Like, bro, these are just a bunch these are a bunch of people who are getting the most exercise they have gotten in years. And then you have two big boys in the back, all just like fighting against Tyler 1. Like all the power is coming from right here. It's all these two. And then everybody else. And then Tyler on the other side is just pulling his entire team.
XGC trying to hold it down towards the back. Words of encouragement from the rear here. This is now a war of attrition. Who will tire out first? Oh, I don't know. We're looking pretty strong here over on the right. They've got some anchors in the back, but this team is not to be stopped. I cannot.
And then look at this. Tyler's just like, dude, this dude's a fucking beast. Look at him.
Look at Tyler 1's feet at the front sliding. He's bringing it back though.
He's literally pulling the entire team. Who's your rival? I don't know. Who wants to be my rival? Yo, let's say Skyward Wing. Everyone go to his chat. Is he live right now? I have no idea. Skyward Wing is my rival. Yo, what's up? You smelly, bro. You smelly. You got 2 eyes. You got a mouth. You got a nose. You got some hair, bro. You're bald, but also you're not. I don't know.
Look at the face on almost there.
Bro, look at Hassan in the back. He's just like, bro, come on. Like, he's just the only one who's still going. Bro, I just wanted to watch this to just acknowledge that Tyler 1 is a fucking freak of nature. This dude is ridiculously strong. Even up, like, here's the thing is everyone thinks Hassan is like super strong. I'm a follower of Hassan. I have seen his lifting videos. That homie's like as strong as I am. Which I know that like to the average person, I'm like ridiculously strong. But when you compare it to like most serious like people who are strong, like it's nothing that crazy. Like Hassan is just big. Like he's big, so he has strength from that, you know? But also, even Hassan can acknowledge the power of Tyler 1.
Dude, Tyler 1 could probably beat my ass. Holy shit.
And he just did. We just watched it happen. I think it's crazy because, like, this is from 2019. This is from 2 years ago. And, like, it's just like, bro, the facts are the facts, bro. Like, Hassan knew. He knew from day one, like, yo, when it comes time that I am physically up against Tyler 1, it's just gonna be a wrap.
If you guys seen him fucking lift weights, I showed it to Canute. Even he was impressed. We were literally two giant human beings sitting at the fucking Equinox. Instead of bench pressing, we were sitting there watching Tyler 1 clean like 3 plates. It's just absolute madness, dude. Hold on, I gotta show you guys this shit. This guy, like, look, I don't really know this dude at all. I don't know what the fuck he does, but this is one of the most impressive things I've seen, like, perhaps of all time.
Bro, look at that. And he reps it out. He's just
There's
repping
gotta
it
be
out.
something wrong with him, right? Do we know what's wrong with him? What is...
Also, just like for, that's not a good Aspen clip to pull up after that. Yo, shout out to Aspen Gold. Anyways, I think I need y'all to understand, like, just how hard it is to clean like that. Like, it's mostly technique, but also, like, I think, like, my PR on that is, like, 1 plate. So, like, 135. That's 315. That's ridiculously strong. Let's just look at, like, how fucking powerful this dude is.
We do is RB back at it again.
Bro, honestly, maybe I should just start playing League of Legends. Maybe that's the secret, dude.
With the
I'll just get so much rage built up like him
Let's go.
that I'll be able to just, like, lift insane weights. Like, yo, like, people always want to do, like, Natty or not. Like, yo, is he on steroids? Like, what is he on? I think he just plays League of Legends all day, and he just has, like, a rage inside of him from that he is just, like, insanely powerful. Like, he just builds up, like, all this, like, anger and frustration as, like, his fucking Teemo is feeding or whatever the fuck. I'm just saying words. I don't even know what they mean, but he's just pissed off because he's tired of these motherfuckers, and he just goes to the gym and he does this shit. Like, that shit's a performance enhancing drug.
I got it.
Let's go. Come on, come on. Drive, 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 drive. There it is.
There it is. Looking good.
Nice.
Like, this homie just benched more than any of my strongest lifting. He just benched more than I can squat. He benched more than I can deadlift. Like, that's crazy, bro.
That was pretty hard. But...
And then he just kept going. Wait, hold up. What was that last attempt?
Let's go.
Around, but we got it.
Did it say?
Come on over here.
Come on, let's get it. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Come on.
Bro, why do they have the lab right up against it? Like, they don't do that. Like, they don't do that, like, powerlifting meets. They don't... Alright, dude, like, we gotta get you labbed up before you hit your PR, bro. Like, why did they do that? You're just gonna hear that... Like, dude, why... Like, homie's sniffing, bro.
You got it.
Tight, tight. There
Let's
you
go.
go.
5, 6, 5.
Let's go to the big one.
Already.
Come on.
Come on, baby.
Like, dude. I think that we underestimate gamers sometimes.
Go.
Personal.
Tight, tight, tight.
Lightweight, baby.
Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Get up. There
we
you
go,
go.
580.
There you go.
Unreal. I'm lightheaded.
Bro, literally, he's lightheaded because it's not even his strength. It's just pure rage from playing League all day.
I'm here.
Drive
Bro, you
through,
see,
leg,
this
leg.
is the power of short men. Y'all need to stop sleeping on short men. Those of us who are 6'5", we got it rough, dude. Like, come on.
Legs juicy. There it is.
Juicy as...
That's juicy, baby.
My God. My forearm's cramping right now. I don't know what... I mean, what's...
All right, so I'm gonna just say it up front, dog. Like, this is gonna be a very masculine, very testosterone-filled stream today. Everything I got planned, everything I got lined up is just manly, dude. We're just dudes being dudes today. So, like, including that, I'm gonna talk about something that I always say I want to talk about, but I feel like most people don't care about, so I don't talk about it. But you know what? Fuck it, dude. This is my show. I don't give a fuck. We're talking about wrestling today. That's right, you heard me correctly. We're talking about wrestling today. And we're talking about wrestling news. Oh yeah, we don't have a studio audience. Anyways, we're talking about wrestling news today. And today is one day removed from World Wrestling Entertainment, once again reporting record profits, record revenue, but deciding that they're going to cut the budget and release a bunch of wrestlers who probably relocated and did all this shit to be a part of their company, swore the oath, and now they're out of the job, because fuck them. Variety stream all the masculine topics, that's exactly what we're doing today. There are a lot of wrestlers who got released who, you know, some of them, who cares? I mean, aside from, like, the human aspect of, like, damn, bro, like, you lost your job, but from, like, an actual, like, looking at things as, like, entertainment, as a wrestling fan, who cares? Like, but there is one person who was released where we really gotta question, like, what the motive was here.
Yeah, but that moment might as well be miles away, Nigel, because
Yeah, fucking Keith Lee, bro. Keith Lee. They said, you know what? We're gonna release Keith Lee. The fucking god. I have never seen a wrestler who can naturally get over like he does. Who can do the shit that he does. Every time he gets in the ring, he just goes like full anime character, bro. He starts doing shit that, like, how does a human even do that? He is like ridiculously strong. He's ridiculously agile. It's like gravity doesn't apply to him unless he wants it to. He is literally like a fucking Dragon Ball Z character. It is insane. And WWE is like, you know, he's fine, but, you know, we just don't got anything for him, you know? We got all these other guys that we want to get over, but, you know, Keith Lee, really? I don't know about that. And the thing is like, they did the same thing to my boy Miro, who is now in AEW. Miro, who was Rusev in WWE, and he would continuously get over. The fans loved him. He was believable. He could kick anybody's ass. But they were like, you know, even like a US championship run, I don't know, that seems like too much, dude. I mean, does he really deserve it? I mean, the crowd loves him, but, like, we have plans, you know? We got people we want to push. Now Miro's in AEW, a company that I have been supporting since before it was even a company. Me and my boy Huey, in their first unofficial event, All In Chicago in 2018? I believe it was 2018. We packed our bags, we drove down to Chicago, and we watched one of the greatest wrestling shows of all time. And then a year later, we did it again with a couple more friends, and we saw another amazing wrestling show. And this year, we did it again. And we saw the debuts of people like Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, Ruby Soho, and we saw CM Punk wrestle for the first time in 7 years. The legend CM Punk. And in fact, you know, if you don't believe me about the hype around Keith Lee, how about we ask a wrestling legend? That man who I just mentioned, CM Punk.
Punk, this is one of the biggest nights of the year. Who do you think should win the Royal Rumble?
This is my favorite segment where I get to audition for all the wrestling companies out there for the excuse for you to pay me a lot of money to do all your booking. Who do I think is going to win the male Royal Rumble?
The men's, yes.
Who should win it? Who do I think is going to win it? It's a big difference.
Well, I mean,
all right,
follow
fantasy
your heart,
book.
I guess.
Here it is. Keith Lee.
Oh.
Keith Lee from NXT should win the Royal Rumble.
Okay, any follow-up on why?
I think
I don't know if we need a why.
had
It's
a
incredible.
tremendous showing at Survivor Series, and he, to me, is a big fish in a little pond right now. Not to say that NXT is little by any means.
Where he needs a little room to grow.
I think you need to follow up on stuff like this. You strike when the lightning's hot. You see the little moment he had with Reigns right there. That already feels like it was 2 years ago. We got
And now it literally was 2 years ago, and now he's released.
to get going with Keith Lee here. I think he needs to chuck Brock over the top rope, and he needs to win that whole thing.
Dang, all right.
Here's the thing. AEW right now, they're stacked. They just got a ton of people, all the people I just named, including, plus, on top of like all those people I named, they just signed Andrade, Aleister Black, now known as Malachi Black. They have like so many people. Plus, Bray Wyatt is supposed to be going there soon. That or he's going to Impact, but bro, who wants to go to Impact? The thing is, AEW doesn't need any more guys. They don't need any more big main event guys. But Keith Lee is an exception. Keith Lee is that fucking good. Like, Keith Lee, he is a free agent right now. And it would be ridiculous to not sign him. Like, it's like a no-brainer. And the thing is I'm confident that AEW is going to sign him. And the reason why is because AEW doesn't have an ego like WWE does. WWE is going to look at someone like Rusev. And they're going to be like, people like him. He's good in the ring. He's believable. But I don't know, dude. I mean, it's just, we got other plans, you know, there are other things we want to do. And like, you know, it's kind of obvious if we like, you know, put a belt on him. AEW doesn't do that shit. If AEW is like, you know, this is a very obvious thing to do, they do it anyways. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes the obvious thing is the best option. And like, we always want to be subversive. We want to be like, nah, dude, like, come on, like, do something more creative than that. But look at what happened this past week. AEW's doing their World Championship tournament, and one of the finalists, Jon Moxley, formerly Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley, who has become a huge main eventer in AEW, one of their top guys by far, he was supposed to go on to the finals, but unfortunately, best wishes, he checked himself into inpatient care for alcoholism, into rehab, and he will not be on TV for a while he's getting treated. That's a good choice. He made the right decision, but that does leave the problem of like, okay, now who's going to take his spot in this tournament? And formerly known as Rusev, Miro, a guy who has a ton of momentum. They didn't have anything for him to do, and they were like, fuck it, bro, let's just throw Miro in there. And now it's like a fucking, like, it was just such a great moment because it's such an obvious thing to do. It's such an obvious conclusion to make, but if it was WWE, they would never do that. They would never in a million years, they would be like, you know what? Miro makes sense, but what if we threw in Dolph Ziggler? People aren't gonna like it, but no one's gonna expect it. And AEW says, you know what? Fuck that shit. We're gonna do a shit that we know people are gonna like. And in this case, Keith Lee, signing Keith Lee, that's what makes sense. It's such a no-brainer, because this guy, even with all the saturation, all the people that they got on their roster, they got so many amazing talents. If it was anyone else, I would say, you know what? Let them go somewhere else. Let them prove themselves in other places. Let them figure themselves out, and then maybe later, once things have slowed down with AEW, then they can get signed. But Keith Lee isn't most people. Keith Lee is an exceptional performer. One of the most ridiculously gifted people I've ever seen in wrestling. And I've been watching wrestling for a long-ass time. I've been on both sides of wrestling. I've been backstage. I've been a fan in the audience. I've never seen anyone like Keith Lee. Nobody who can just walk into a room and get people completely invested. That is a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and it would be incredibly short-sighted not to make a point to sign him, even when you don't really need him. And that's my 2 cents on that. Now let's move on to the W of the week.
We're gonna call it for today, guys. I'm over it. I'm sorry, but I haven't been feeling very inspired lately, so that's gonna do it.
All right, man. See you tomorrow for the podcast, right?
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I wandered those foul streets of Los Angeles, just waiting to find a sign, or for a sign to find me. That was pretty cool.
Now, are you ready for a real test of might?
Yo, what, Hassan?
Hassan!
Alright, full disclosure, I went full screen just because I really had to go piss and I didn't want to leave dead air, so just full disclosure, I was gonna actually react to this, but I was like, yo, dude, I really gotta piss. I've been juicing up on caffeine all day. Anyways.
You weren't ready!
Bro, can we just acknowledge, like, Will is not a small dude. And Hassan is just, like, a much larger human being. That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Do it!
And there's just a geyser of blood, and the spinal column is flopping around like a tail, and I'm just have murdered my best friend's.
Will, what the is wrong with you? What are you wasting my time for? I got a million other things to do. What the are we even doing here?
Well, this is my announcement video.
Announcement video for what?
Joining the org.
100 Thieves?
Yeah.
What have we been doing for the last 2 months? You've been on every episode that we've had of the podcast.
Wasn't he at the creator camp?
You were the host of the Creator Games.
I was. I had to hitchhike. You guys said there was no room on the PJ, and then you sent me a picture of.
We had a lot of
Matt's,
luggage.
Yeah, Matt's
We had a
bags
lot of
and some of
luggage.
the seats.
Are you getting paid?
No.
Anyways, I think y'all get the gist. Congratulations, Will Neff, who joined 100 Thieves. A ridiculously talented, as Ricky is saying in the chat, ridiculously funny, ridiculously talented. Like, and also just like the production on this shit, bro. Like, this is a crazy production. A crazy announcement video. Like, this is the shit that, like, I would aspire to do. Damn, bro. We got through all that quick. And now it's time to move on to the most important topic for the culture.
How many times a week you jack off?
So if my girl is in town, 0 times jacking off. Was she out of town? No. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Let's talk about Nofap. Let's talk about No Nut November. First of all, we gotta talk about the actual legitimacy of this. And also, I got front load this with my own opinion, because that's what talk shows are for. No one asked, but here's my opinion. I think masturbation is a good thing. No studio audience. I think masturbation is a great thing. I think that everyone should be beating their meat constantly. That's what's good for society. And I think that No Nut November is a scam. I think that people are promising superpowers when in reality, all you're gonna get is pain and suffering. Sometimes physical pain. But like, here's the thing. It's like, there's like a whole Nofap movement around this idea that's not masturbating is good for you. That not masturbating is something that will improve it will make you more of a man. It will improve your testosterone. And masturbating itself is like a negative thing. So I pulled up a couple videos with some actual science. And then after we watch those videos, and we're all on the same page, we see the evidence, we're going to try and red pill ourselves with the knowledge of what masturbation actually does, what abstaining from masturbation actually does. We're going to take that knowledge and we're going to try to reverse it. And we're going to see if by the end of this stream, my opinion has changed. Will I be red pilled into the Nofap lifestyle? I pre-watched these couple videos because I wanted to make sure, like, okay, do I agree with what they're saying? And these seem pretty reliable.
So this is what you guys want.
And you might be thinking, oh, Tom, you just picked videos with evidence and arguments that you agree with. Yeah, because I'm right. It's that simple.
A video on masturbation. So now that I know what type of hard topics you guys are interested in, let's ask the trickling question that you all came here to ask. Does masturbation affect your gains? If any of you already ventured in the great abyss we call the internet, you probably have an idea on how testosterone can be affected with ejaculation. For those of you not familiar with testosterone, testosterone is an androgenic hormone that plays a crucial role in the development of the male characteristics in the body. The one
I told y'all this was gonna be one for the boys. I warned y'all.
characteristic that you need to know in this video is testosterone's role in building muscle. With high levels of testosterone, your body is better able to build muscle through muscle protein synthesis after a stimulating workout. Both men and women have testosterone, but men have approximately 15 times more.
I don't know if
The
that's
belief
true.
around the internet is
but-
that masturbation and orgasm will cause your testosterone levels to deflate. So that obviously means your gains will be softening too.
Source, bro, trust
Well,
me.
let's see if the studies back up this hardened claim. Let's first dig through the research about the effects of short-term abstinence. One study showed that subjects holding it in for 7 days did in fact saw a significant increase in blood testosterone. But
Here's something I always wondered growing up is like, I always heard people being like, yo, dude, listen, like, you shouldn't be masturbating because, like, it's gonna cause all these, like, physical problems for you. But then, like, all these people also don't have an issue with, like, people having sex. And I was always kind of like, yo, what's the difference, though? Like, physically and, like, all that shit. Like, your body, does your body know a difference between, like, if you're giving yourself a hand job versus if your homie's giving you a hand job? Like, why is one okay but the other's not? Like, that just seems like some, like some puritanical shit where it's like, one shall not touch their own dick, for it'll cause you to lose your gains. But if your homie touches your dick, your gains will be fine.
then trickled back down to normal levels and sometimes lower than normal in the following days after. Another study showed that waiting 3 weeks before taming your monster did cause a very slight uptake in testosterone compared to not waiting at all. It seems that abstinence can in fact increase testosterone. But what happens to your body when you finally do masturbate? The very clear change after masturbation is the 20-minute boost in the hormone prolactin. This seems to serve the purpose of
I don't know if this
suppressing
part's
sexual
true,
desire.
actually. Because he said, like, okay, like, after 3 weeks, your testosterone will be boosted, but, like, not really. Like, here's the thing. One of the main symptoms of having high testosterone is having a high libido. So if you need to, like, beat your meat constantly, chances are you probably have high testosterone. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if you have the libido to, like, beat your meat, your testosterone's probably fine. You know what I'm saying? And also, like, the idea that, like, it's basically the same shit as, like, the soy stuff with, like, oh, if you eat soy, your estrogen is gonna go up, when it's like, not really. Like, there will be like a momentary spike after you eat it. It will be completely temporary, and it won't be enough to actually do anything close. Like, it'll be like so minuscule that it doesn't even matter. And it's like the same shit with this. You're gonna get that boost after like a week, and then it'll go away. I don't know what he's talking about with like the 3 week stuff, but like,
following
I got another video that's gonna be more in depth on that stuff.
orgasm. When
on the actual
prolactin
studies.
increases, the hormone causing sexual arousal, dopamine, decreases.
You know what, actually, let's just move on to this one.
So, is masturbation killing your gains? This might seem like a goofy topic, but this is actually a really common question that comes up. I've been asked this 1,000,001 times over the years, and if you just look at the view count on most masturbation and bodybuilding videos, you'll see just how many people are curious about this topic. Now, the basic fear that most guys have is pretty simple. They're worried that ejaculation is going to decrease their testosterone levels, and since testosterone is the primary muscle building hormone in the body, that's going to lead to reduced muscle growth. And to be totally honest, this is something that I actually remember being concerned about in my younger lifting days as well. And I would say that it actually is a valid question. I mean, even in some competitive sports, it's not uncommon to hear about athletes abstaining from sex and masturbation prior to competitions. In Mike Tyson's prime, he says that he went 5 years without having sex for similar reasons. So let's break.
Okay, maybe if you're fighting, like, you just want to build up the rage. Yo, thanks, Leon Miguel. Like, maybe if you're fighting, like, you just build up, like, the sexual frustration, and then you just, like, let it out in the ring. Actually, that sounds really weird. Maybe don't, like... like, you beat someone's ass, and you're just, like... You just nut from beating the shit out of them. Like, you're beating someone else's meat, and then you nut. Like, I don't know, dude. Like... I mean, I can kind of see, like... It's similar to the Tyler 1 shit we were talking about earlier. Like, he just gets so enraged by like all the shit with like people feeding and league and shit. He's just like, you know, getting so upset and like so angry, and then he goes to the gym and he just lifts 600 pounds off the ground. Like maybe it's the same shit as that, where it's like, you know, you don't beat your meat, and then you like just start becoming like such an angry person. Like you just start getting like so stressed out, and like you're like hyperventilating, and then you go in the ring and you just beat the shit out of the person because you're so angry because you need to nut. Like, I don't know, maybe that does make sense. Maybe Mike Tyson's onto something with that. But I don't think the average person needs to be going in and fighting Mike Tyson. I don't think in your average day-to-day life you're gonna be fighting motherfuckers. Does Tyler 1 masturbate? I would assume so. I mean, he has a girlfriend, and his girlfriend said that she actually, I don't want to talk about that because that's kind of gross, but like we can assume that he is nutting on a semi-regular basis.
It down. I see people just kind of tossing answers around on this without really backing it by solid evidence. So let's look at this objectively. So first off, in a pure physical sense, in other words, if you take two individuals who are following the exact same training and nutrition protocol, with the only difference being that one of them is consistently flogging the dolphin 3 times a day, while the other is living the full-blown red pill Nofap lifestyle, would there be any difference in muscle growth between the two? Now, there are a variety of studies that have looked into this as far as how masturbation affects testosterone levels. So one of the more well-known papers is a 2003 study on 28 men, where half of them had to keep their wiener fully concealed for an 8-day period, while the other half could do with it as they pleased. And in the abstinence group, there was a temporary 45% spike in testosterone. Now that's
Good job. Good job. Good job. You got the boost. You achieved the Nofap lifestyle. Congratulations. That can't, you know.
Sounds interesting, but the reality is that this study just wasn't very well structured. First off, the masturbatory frequency wasn't specifically measured. They also...
What does that mean? Bro, if you're gonna do a study like that, you gotta like set like a ground rule of like, alright, you must masturbate like once a day. And like probably set like a specific time. Like you gotta be specific. You gotta be specific in there. You can't be in here like, yo dude, like, you can masturbate if you want. And then they're like, alright. Like maybe they won't. I don't know.
Started on different days of the week, which could have an effect on things depending on how stress levels might fluctuate, and ultimately it was a pretty small sample size over a short time frame. Another study looked at testosterone levels in 10 men before and after a 3-week period of abstinence, and there was a slight increase after those 3 weeks. However, once again, the increase was small, temporary, and they only measured the test levels while they were masturbating. Not literally while they were masturbating, but within the same general period. And so it doesn't really tell us the whole story because we don't have a full picture of exactly what was happening from day to day. This study here was done on rhesus monkeys, which might not carry over perfectly to humans, though judging by some of the comments people leave on my videos, especially over on TikTok, I'm not convinced the difference is all that significant between the two species in some cases, at least not cognitively, but...
I mean, I know I'm a monkey, so like, ook ook.
Regardless of that, one group of monkeys with the highest number of ejaculations also had the lowest testosterone levels, but when they followed up on another group, ejaculation frequency didn't have any effect. This one here is a rat study, which of course is not ideal, but it did show that rodents who ejaculated to the point of sexual exhaustion didn't have any significant change.
Bro, how does a rat beat their meat? How does a rat beat their meat? That's the question I'm trying to figure out. How does a rat take its little paws and beat its meat? How does that work? Bring in the scientists. I need someone to demonstrate this.
Their plasma testosterone levels. On top of this, there actually are some studies that show the complete opposite, where ejaculation is associated with higher testosterone levels. Now, depending on the study structure, that could be because people with...
All right, boys, that's all the evidence I need. That's all the evidence I need. Let's go. Let's go, bro. Beating rat meat is wild. They rode with their back feet. You know, I've seen videos of that, of like humans doing that. Like, I've seen... Anyways.
Higher test levels are just more driven to have sex or to masturbate in general, so we can't really...
Listen, Twitch, if you're watching this is educational. I can say whatever I want. That's how it works. In a video game, blah, blah, blah. Rats masturbating in video games. It's education. We're educating the masses on this is important.
Draw a firm conclusion there, but it is something to consider. This study showed that a period of abstinence resulted in lower testosterone levels, but that was in men with erectile dysfunction who might be more prone to depression or to anxiety, which could be a causative factor, or just less social contact with females in general.
We have way too many men on this stream saying females unironically. I'm sorry.
That could play a role too, since that does impact testosterone levels to a certain degree as well. But all in all, when you look at the evidence collectively, what you generally see are minor short-term fluctuations with no significant long-term effects. And it's important to keep in mind that short-term fluctuations in testosterone are completely normal as is and can range anywhere from 10 to 40% over periods of a few days or weeks. Which brings us to the key point here, which is that even if choking the chicken did cause a small temporary decrease in testosterone levels, that doesn't necessarily mean anything at all when it comes specifically to building muscle. And this is the big thing that a lot of people miss. They click on some random study, they skim the abstract, they read that masturbation resulted in lower testosterone, and they think that that's all they need to know, case closed, masturbation is going to destroy my muscle building results. But that's not at all how it works in reality.
All right, so like I feel like we got the idea. We've seen the science. It basically is showing that, like, okay, sometimes they do studies, dudes don't masturbate, they have higher testosterone. Sometimes that group has lower testosterone. Sometimes guys have lower testosterone from masturbating. Sometimes they have higher testosterone from masturbating. Thank you, Cornflakes, for the follow. So basically what we're seeing is inconclusive, or it seems to not really have an effect on muscle growth. And also, we don't have to watch the entire video for this, but he will go on to say that there are times where it seems like, maybe it's just a fact that the test subjects may have higher or lower testosterone to begin with. So like someone who is not masturbating for a period of time, who has higher testosterone afterwards, it could be possible that they just have higher testosterone. Or someone who is, beating their meat and has higher testosterone might just have high testosterone. Or vice versa. Like he said with the whole situation with the guys who have ED, who have depression and anxiety, so they naturally have lower testosterone or whatever. I don't know if depression and anxiety, or I guess that's kind of like a result of low testosterone. I don't know. I got all of it. I got depression, anxiety, high testosterone, high estrogen. I don't know. Probably not high estrogen. I have no idea what my estrogen is. But I can tell I have high testosterone. Like I tick all the boxes of having high testosterone, including losing my hair. That's the best part. I think at this point we can draw the conclusion that maybe masturbation doesn't really affect it. Maybe it doesn't affect all this stuff. Maybe, like as long as you ain't beating your meat so much that you aren't doing your everyday responsibilities, maybe you're fine. But we here at Late Night Sugma program, that's not good enough for me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need to hear the other side. And you know what? I actually don't know what this guy's argument is. I just found it and I saw ambiguously brown guy making a video in his bedroom, and in my experience online through scouring fitness videos and science videos on this type of stuff, these are usually the guys who tend to have the red-pilled take of do not masturbate or some crazy shit like that. Why? I don't really know. I don't actually know why that correlation exists. It's a thing that happens for some reason. So I'm assuming he's probably gonna convince us that Nofap is the way to go. So, happy No Nut November, everyone.
What's up, Kings? Today,
he also calls us Kings right off the bat, so like, I'm already getting a certain vibe.
This video is going to be somewhat of a deep dive into the neuroscience of pornography use and how it affects the gray matter and dendritic connections in the brain. I've often talked about Nofap and the use of PMO in regards to esoteric concepts, life force energy, building up energy within yourself.
What is PMO? Does anyone know what PMO is? I will say this though, when it comes to pornography addiction, as someone who has been like kind of borderline on that, I think the more that you worry about it and the more you like psych yourself out and be like, oh my god, like am I addicted to, I think that's kind of the more susceptible you make yourself to potentially having an issue. Also, same thing with masturbation. I think the more it's stigmatized and the more it's like treated as like a bad thing, I think the more likely you are to have an issue with it. And if you don't do that, you're more likely to have a healthier relationship with it, and you won't have the same issues. So that's my 2 cents on that matter. So moving on.
But for today's video, I want to go as deeply as I can into the hard science side of this practice, just to speak to that element of things.
We want that hard science. When it comes to masturbation, nothing else is going to cut it.
Because there is a very strong neuroscience correlation between pornography use, depression, anxiety, and the inability to concentrate, alongside connections between pornography and interpersonal relationships. It's
Bro, I just gotta say this, like, I mean, this is all anecdotal, but like, have you ever just not masturbated for a while? Or like not had that release? Like, I don't know about y'all, but like that's why I'm most anxious. That's why I'm like having like conspiracy theories. That's why I start like conspiring that the government is watching me. Is if I haven't beat my meat in like a week, I'm like, dude, bro, everyone is out to get me. Everyone is a part of the CIA. They're all psyops, bro. They're all watching me. They're waiting for me to slip up so they can swoop in and they can take everything from me. And then I beat my meat. I'm like, damn, bro, that's crazy.
no mystery to people anymore that porn use is often linked to erectile dysfunction and commitment issues. And so let's attempt to decipher some of the neuroscience behind why these effects play out the way they do. A good majority of the content for this video will be coming directly from Gary Wilson's book, Your Brain on Porn, so credit where credit is due. The fundamental connection between why porn use is linked to anxiety, depression, and an inability to concentrate stems from evolutionary biology and psychology. In both the animal kingdom at large and with human beings, it has been found numerous times and documented that animals respond to what we call superstimuli, stimuli that are above what is naturally produced, artificial means. We see this in birds. Many times robin birds or other types of birds will favor fake eggs that are highly colored over real eggs that are their own children. Male jewel
Why is that so funny? Stupid ass fucking birds. What the fuck, dude? That's a fake egg. You fucking idiot, bro. The fuck is wrong with you? You stupid ass. Like, goddamn.
beetles might actually try to copulate with beer tabs if they ever see them, because of
Wait.
actually tried to copulate eggs that are their own children. Male jewel beetles might actually try to copulate with beer tabs.
Bro, these beetles are trying to fuck beer tabs, dog. I mean, all I'm getting from this is like, yo, dude, like everybody, every living thing is horny as fuck, and they gotta take care of that. I don't see the issue here as far as masturbation goes. It seems more like an argument for masturbation. What is the argument here? Like, oh, like these beetles are fucking beer tabs because you won't stop beating your meat. You need to get your hand off your dick, and or else the beetles are gonna keep fucking beer tabs. Like, if anything, it's like showing that like it's a natural part of life. It's part of the life cycle. That if any animal sees something that they can fuck, they're gonna fuck it. It's just nature, I guess.
If they ever see them.
This dude's not doing a good job of red pilling me right now. Like, I feel like I'm just I'm moving even farther on my stance towards just beat your meat, dude. Like, bro, who wants to deal with someone who hasn't beat their meat in like 7 days and they're just like, yeah, bro, I'm on Nofap, dude. I'm seeing through the walls. It's like, dude, are you good? Bro, I got so much semen retained. It's like, homie, we don't need to know that. You didn't need to tell us that. Like, you going up to people on your college campus being like, hello, sir, can I talk to you about semen retention? Hello, sir, when's the last time you masturbated? I'd like to know, because it's very important to the thing I'm about to tell you.
Because of the shininess of those beer tabs, it sort of looks like a very attractive, highly sexualized female jewel beetle. And with human beings,
bro, these beetles are just horny as fuck, dude. Like, calm down, dog. You trying to fuck a beer tab?
This phenomenon is also used very strongly with the food industry. Junk food is a supernormal stimulation of sorts, and food companies actually spend millions of dollars in research and development to create foods with the perfect amount of salt, sugar, and fatty acids, which is why when you take a bite of a Dorito, you're so instantly drawn to take a second bite.
It's always fucking horny for Doritos, dude. The fuck did I walk into? We are being convinced that Nofap is the lifestyle that we all need to adopt. That is, you are walking into enlightenment. And we all want to fuck Doritos. We want to fuck the Doritos with our dicks. This man bites into a Dorito, and it's like, dog, I want to fuck this Dorito. It's a two-dimensional object, but I'm going to figure it out.
One of the great opportunities for super stimulus is, of course, pornography. Most men are drawn to very dramatic secondary sexual characteristics such as big boobs, a big butt, a large waist. So the pornography industry has been able to very potently augment these features, both with the angles by which porn scenes are filmed, but also the performers who undergo several cosmetic surgeries to have more exaggerated features.
Homie, speak for yourself, bro. I'm trying to find a girl who just looks like a worm. I don't know, dude. That I tried on that one. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying. I just wanted to be contrarian on that one. Listen, dog. We all listen. We all love a woman with a nice butt. I can't lie, bro. Global abstinence is this man's goal. Listen, dog, bro, listen. It's just how it be, bro. It is what it is. It be what it be. You want to, like, it's a natural part of life that you want to beat your meat. You don't gotta, like, be so insecure about it that you're gonna make a video that gets 1.5 million views selling all of us not to meet our meat because, like, we've been brainwashed by something or something. I'm gonna turn this on 1.25 so we can get through it a little bit quicker. This is a 20-minute video.
And
I keep pausing.
while rationally you can understand the falseness of that situation, it plays to a very primitive part of our DNA, a primitive part of what drives us. It's the same sort of stimulation that compels the jewel beetle to try to make love to a beer bottle cap. The reason we
Bro, I want to be a monkey just trying to fuck beer bottles. That's my goal in life. You don't need to overcomplicate it. I want things to be simple. I want to be a monkey trying to fuck a beer bottle. That is my goal in life. Just be a literal primate, as I am. I'm a primate. I'm primates. We all are. And I want to go back to monkey and be like, I want to fuck that beer bottle. That's my goal. That's the goal in life. Your goal is global abstinence. Mine is fuck the beer bottle as a monkey. Go back to monkey, fuck the beer bottle. Beer bottle. There we go.
On to stimuli in this very primitive way is because
all we need.
Neurotransmitters that have stemmed from our deep ancestry have used these tactics to keep us alive. These primitive functions give us emotions, motivation, impulses, subconscious decision making. These primitive circuits have done their job exceedingly well in keeping ancient human beings and modern human beings alive. They control our subconscious impulses and they help us react to chasing calories and staying away from dangers and helping us reproduce.
So beat your meat. That's what it's part of survival. Just beat your meat. I'm not being convinced.
Species has thrived so well is because of our barometer to these stimuli. Of course, it should be no surprise to the people who are familiar with this concept that the neurotransmitter that is most closely associated with pornography use and the desensitization that comes with porn use is dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is linked with motivation and drive. Dopamine surges are the barometer by which we humans measure the value of any experience, whether it's taking a bite of an apple, working out at the gym, or watching pornography. We are all on some level responding to the potentiality of a dopamine surge.
Bro, I'm gonna be real, dude. I feel like I get a bigger high off of working out than beating my meat. Honestly, dog, there are many things in life that are just like, I feel like it's really just like hormone regulation after a certain point, because like if you got all this like testosterone building up inside you, like you can't operate normally. So I feel like that's kind of more what it's for. I feel like dopamine is kind of like a secondary thing. I feel like there are many things in life that give me more of a high than doing that, including working out. Like, bro, hitting a new PR better than any nut I've ever bust, bar none. Like I'm still chasing that 300-pound deadlift. I got to 295, and that was it. I couldn't go any farther. My last training cycle, I couldn't get past it. But once I do, no nut will be able to compare. I love the long words he's using. It's how you know it. He's very educated on it. That's just what happens when you haven't beaten your meat for a while. So you just start reading Nofap forums to keep yourself going. Bro, how do you... I feel like that's the most impressive thing about Nofap, is these guys are constantly thinking about masturbating, and then they don't. Like, how does that work? If you really love fast food, it's very easy to stop eating fast food by, just not thinking about it. You eat something else. But imagine you have that addiction to eating fast food, and then you're just always walking into McDonald's every day and just stopping everyone who comes in and being like, by the way, I don't eat here. Everyone's like, okay, dude, all right, hex are straight. I don't know what that means.
And while dopamine has been referred to as the pleasure molecule...
Oh, hex are straight, plates straight.
It's not the molecule that's associated with pleasure itself, but rather the anticipation of an experience. Dopamine actually rises with the anticipation of an experience. And this is actually very significant, because if we associate the anticipation of an experience with a particular reward, then this really signifies that our relationship with the neurotransmitter dopamine really accounts for all the actions that we take that could contribute to our long-term success. And so mastering the abuse of pornography is actually deeply, deeply linked with mastering the activities and decisions that you'll take on for long-term success with any endeavor that you pursue. I actually minored in neuroscience in college, and in one
we got a big brain over
unit
here.
of my time as a science teacher, I would actually teach synaptic connections.
I thought it was gonna be like I would actually teach college students how not to masturbate
and action potentials in the brain.
I'm just imagining like you're just like in a college dorm room, like, remember everybody, do not beat your meat. Like they're just like all trying to like fall asleep, and you're just like, just one guy like standing up like on top of like a bed or something. It's just like, remember guys, no pornography, no beating your meat, none of that. Remember, he's just like coaching them, like, think about a potato. Think about a potato. Do not think about booba. Do not think about booba. Think about potato. The potato might look like booba, but it's actually potato. Think about the potato.
To my 7th grade and 10th grade students, and you know, I never...
Wait, 7th grade and 10th grade... Wait, what is he talking about?
And action potentials in the brain to my 7th grade and 10th grade students. And, you know, I never at the time put it together that the abuse of pornography is also linked with the stimuli.
Okay, good. I thought it was going to be like, and I told them. I'm like, those are kids, dude, chill.
Of action potentials in the brain that I was talking about with so many other stimuli. So it's quite pathetic of me, honestly, to not have been able to put... My man said pathetic of me. I should have been in that middle school classroom, like, listen, y'all, I'm gonna teach y'all about Nofap, dog. Like, here's the psychology of why you shouldn't be watching porn. I mean, I guess, like, they did have people coming in, like, talking about, like, bro, I remember in sex ed in high school, one day, like, the guy came in from the YMCA, they had, like, an outside dude come in, and he showed us, the Love on Top video from Beyonce, and homie was like, oh yeah, she coming in here, and she's, like, taking off her clothes and stuff, and, like, fucking, like, she got her boobs out, and this is, like, ruining America. This is terrorism on a young man's brain. Like, this is just hypersexualized, and it's evil. It's like the devil or whatever. I'm like, bro, it's Beyonce, dog. This song slaps, dude. Like, what you talking about? Together the sheer effects of this super stimuli on the brain. But essentially, here's how action potential...
And I was like 15 back then. Sex ed in America is something else. I'll say that much. Bro, my health teacher back in middle school said that the more relationships you've had, the less affectionate you will have to your new partner. That might be if you have a bunch of bad relationships and have trauma that, like, builds up over time, but, like, I feel like that's not intrinsic to the quantity of your relationships. I feel like that's more like the quality. I feel like if you have just one really shitty relationship, that can happen. But either way, like, we're talking about masturbation.
In the brain work alongside synaptic connections. When we respond to a stimuli, there's an electrical current that is shot off in the brain. You know, our brains are really interesting in the fact that they respond both to electrical impulses and chemical impulses.
I do remember one day he did like an exercise where he had two students who were like role playing as like, we're a couple and we're going to have sex with each other. And then they were like, yeah, I'm a virgin and my girlfriend has only had one partner. And then they had another student come up and be like, I'm her one partner. And I had sex with 50 people. And that's like, of those 50 people, 9 of them had like HIV and gonorrhea and herpes. And now she from that one person has all of those. And now if you have sex with her once, you're going to get all of that. And also she's going to get pregnant. And I was just like, bro, I don't know. This seems kind of, I feel like you can like figure that shit out, bro. Like, I feel like you can figure out a way around that not happening. You know what I mean? We did an example of tape and re-sticking it to your arm, but it wasn't as sticky. Where did you grow up? Because like that kind of sounds like some like straight up like old school ass like Bible Belt stuff. I wonder if this dude is friends with Ben Shapiro. I feel like he's probably not friends with him, but he's probably a huge fan. And Jordan Peterson.
PMO relates to both the chemical and the electrical. But when a presynapse, which is one half of a dendritic cell, one half of a nerve cell in the brain, receives that action.
Wait, Troy bro, you probably had like the same education then. I don't know. I don't think we did that. But he did tell us some like weird stuff about like, honestly, like he was cool otherwise. Like he was a very personable person. But like when homie was like, Beyonce is the devil trying to seduce young men into having unpure thoughts. I was like, bro, this is Beyonce, dude. Like, I don't think we did anything like that weird. But like doing the weird like virginity stuff is kind of weird. Like, who gives a fuck about virginity? Virginity isn't even real, bro.
Potential. Then through the traveling of several ions, such as calcium, such as potassium, through these sort of barriers, it allows a vesicle to secrete dopamine into a
student
gap that
teacher is a
exists
health
between two
teacher.
neurons.
Wait, was it a guy from the YMCA? Like, it's a lot of, yo, here's what not to do, but not here's what you should do. No, she was female. Okay.
And in that gap, we call that the synaptic cleft. Dopamine is squirted and stays there for a period of time. Now, the amount of dopamine that is
Why does this guy gotta say squirt, bro?
excreted and the length of time in which it stays in that synaptic cleft determines the sort of pleasure that is associated with an activity. Eating ice cream would cause a huge surge of dopamine into that synaptic cleft.
I had a guy
Eating
that showed us
celery,
gore imagery
definitely
for
not as much,
anti-smoking, though.
but eventually this dopamine
Wait, how do you show gore for anti-smoking? Yo, shout out to Red. What was that one? Red Asphalt in segment 2 of driving school. That shit was crazy.
is reuptaked. It's brought back out of the synaptic cleft and recirculated to other nerve cells. Because if dopamine stays in that synaptic cleft for too long, this leads to all sorts of desensitization and just bad functioning. Like, it actually eventually affects your motor function
Bad
for
functioning.
dopamine to have stuck around in that nerve synaptic
Like
cleft.
surgery stuff,
So there is
wow.
a reuptake process. Now, with these superstimuli, such as pornography, but also in other superstimuli we've seen, such as cocaine use or meth use, eventually, there's so much dopamine that's kept in that region, and the receptors on that postsynapse can't really deal effectively with all the dopamine.
You know, one of the main sources of dopamine burnout, like that does like what he's saying. You know what? One of the like main things that causes this is playing video games, because you get so used to like the reward aspect of it that like your brain just like becomes like desensitized to it. That's why like when you play a video game for a long time, you just kind of like it doesn't hit the same anymore. It's literally just like the dopamine in your brain is just like firing off, and then like your brain just kind of adjusts to it. So
It's very hard for that dopamine to bind to the postsynapse. This eventually causes your body to actually start closing receptors on the postsynapse, which is quite terrifying.
I
Because
mean, I don't understand why they always like specify this with like porn and masturbation, whereas this is just like how people become addicted to anything. Like, this is how you become addicted to smoking, how you become addicted to caffeine, sugar, gambling. You have these rushes of dopamine, and then over time your body just kind of it's a diminishing return. I don't know why we like get so hung up about it on like specifically like pornography. Like, who cares, bro? It's a thing that you do. Like, everybody does certain things that are gonna do that. Like, everyone has a treat once in a while. If you're like, here's the thing: if you're like so concerned about like burning out your dopamine that you're just never gonna do anything like that could potentially cause you to like release dopamine, you're gonna live a pretty miserable life. Like, it's all about moderation. Like, just don't be like fiending on that shit. Don't be like gambling all your money away. Like, dude, gambling is fun, but like, do it responsibly. I feel as playing phone games would be more like that, because you get rewarded for doing like the stupidest. Yeah, I mean, mobile games are very much designed around that philosophy of just like, yo, dude, quick dopamine. We want people attached to this shit. We want people spending money so they can keep playing, and we want to like get that shit diminished so they feel like they need to spend money in order to like keep having fun. You know, it's just it's a universal thing. This dude is kind of making it sound like if you ever do anything that causes a dopamine release, it's something that like you shouldn't be doing, or it's something that you should try and like abstain from doing, which is kind of sad. Like, really, in life is short. You should be doing things for that rush, but also trying to diversify that. Like, if you're addicted to masturbation, try getting addicted to coke. But listen, this is just what we do as human beings, is you're chasing highs, and you should be doing that by trying to diversify your life and have a lot of different experiences. Not necessarily through these very quick, easy ways of like boosting your shit, but like by like going out and trying new things, just in general. Like, you don't gotta be beating your meat to release dopamine, and you also don't need to be doing crack to release dopamine. Although, that is something I was thinking about earlier, because like, I've never drank, I've never smoked, But like at this point in my life, it's not even a thing where it's like I don't want to do it, but it's like I know with my personality, if I do it, that's always going to be an option. I mean, just in general, once you do something like that, like once you, like if you've never masturbated, it's easy to never masturbate. If you have never drank in your life, it's very easy to never drink. But I know, especially like with my genetics, being Irish and Native American, and knowing my family history with drug addiction, I know if I start drinking, I'm not going to stop. I'm like, you know what? I'm ahead right now. I've never drank, so it's better for me to just not do it. It's easier for me to just like stay away and avoid the inevitable alcoholism that'll happen, because I know I will. I know what's going to happen because I know my personality. I know how addictive I am. And I know it, like, if I drink, it's always going to be there. Dude, I had edibles for the first time like last year. And like whenever I feel like kind of not even like depressed, but like if I'm just like kind of bored, I'm like, damn, bro, I should get more. And it's just like in the back of my mind. I'm always like, yo, dude, like maybe I should do that again. Like just, you know, just have fun, you know? And it's like that just happens with anything. Like once you like unlock something in your brain, I mean, it's the same as like, you know, if you've never eaten McDonald's, you're never going to crave McDonald's. But once you do, you're always going to, it's going to be in the back of your mind. It's always going to be there as a potential for your brain to be like, you know, shit, like I need some stimulus. Maybe try this. Maybe try doing that. It's just a normal, it's part of life. I mean, that's just a normal thing. To be like, yo, dude, this is why you need to never masturbate ever again. It's kind of silly.
This means that dopamine just ends up staying in your synaptic cleft and its process of reuptake diminishes, it dwindles. This causes your body to wear out your pleasure centers essentially, and you feel less pleasure from the activities that you normally would get some amount of pleasure from. Oftentimes when people track the studies of people who end up becoming cocaine addicts, they notice that there's a huge spike the first time they do cocaine, and then they dip down slightly below what their baseline rate is. And then the second time they abuse cocaine, they go up again, they have a huge spike of dopamine and pleasure, but not quite as high as the first time, and then they surge down. But eventually this creates a trend where their baseline pleasure level actually drops from what it originally was before they ever ended up doing any cocaine. And the same principle applies to pornography. Numerous studies have found that the brain of someone who is addicted to pornography.
Here's the thing, is like what he's saying isn't even wrong. It's just like a weird value statement, you know what I mean? Like it's not, it's factual, it's correct, but like the conclusion's not the same, you know? I can acknowledge, yeah, you're right. Your conclusion to that is never jerk off. Just never do it. My conclusion is do it when you need to, and then don't do it when you don't. Live a normal functioning life, first and foremost. And once you got that down, who cares? You've earned it. You can do whatever you want. Hell, dude, if you have a normal functioning life and you're doing cocaine, I don't care. As long as you are seeing your doctor and making sure that you're healthy and shit, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's the same science, but different results.
It looks very, very
different
similar
values
in terms of the lighting up of different regions of the brain to people who are addicted to cocaine or even meth or even heroin. I'm now going to move into reading directly from the words of Gary Wilson from his book, Your Brain on Porn. Rat studies reveal that the dopamine levels occurring with sexual arousal equal those induced by administration of morphine or nicotine. Beyond our conscious awareness lie other distinctions. Both sex and drug use also lead to the accumulation of delta phos-B, a protein that activates genes involved with addiction. The molecular changes it generates are nearly identical for both sexual conditioning and chronic use of drugs. Delta phos-B is what we call a transcription factor. It flips on a very specific set of genes that physically and chemically alter the reward circuitry. Think of dopamine being as the foreman and delta phos-B also being the workers who are given the orders of what synaptic connections to build and what synaptic connections to sort of prune.
Is he gonna say anything else? Like, is he gonna say anything like
away
interesting?
or get rid of. Dopamine tells the brain.
Like, okay, we understand dopamine. I think we all understand dopamine. Does everyone understand dopamine? Like, we understand how it works. Like, you get a spike from doing things that, like, activate it. Cool. That's great. What else you got, bro?
The men at their computers looking at porn had been seduced into pornographic training sessions that met all the conditions required for plastic change of brain maps. Since neurons that fire together wire together, these men got massive amounts of practicing wiring these images into the pleasure centers of the brain with the rapt attention necessary for plastic change.
I don't know. It sounds pretty dope to me, bro. It sounds like, yo, porn is pretty cool. I mean, the industry is kind of fucked up in times, but like, yo, dude, that's why we need to like stop stigmatizing it so much and make better conditions for sex workers and porn stars, porn actors, people who are working in porn. Make things better for them, give them better conditions, because like that's the real unethical part of it, is like, you know, who cares about like if you're jerking off or whatever, who cares about like consuming pornography? Like there's no moral or like fucking issue there, but like, yo, dude, listen, like we gotta make a point to make things better for the people producing it, because that shit's kind of fucked up at times, bro. Like that's where my concerns are. And also like it sounds pretty dope the way he's describing it. Like, yo, dude, like hell yeah, brother. Like, yo, this homie's over here like pornography meets the conditions for releasing dopamine in a ritualistic way that makes your brain wire these images into the pleasure center of your brain. And that's bad. I'm over here like, I don't know, that sounds pretty dope. Sounds pretty cool, bro. Like, yo, dude, like, bro, life is meaningless, dude. Like, fuck it, bro. Like, I'm starting to kind of wonder, like, yo, dude, am I the weird one? Am I the weird one? Cause like, I'm pretty laissez-faire out here. Like, I'm like, yo, dude, life is suffering. If you can not suffer, that's awesome. Do you do crack? I wouldn't. But if you do, and you're having fun, you're living your life, you have meaning to your life through doing that, then I don't know, dude. Like, listen, I don't condone using crack. I would never do it. But if there are people who do it and they're like, yo, dude, listen, I'm chilling. Who am I to judge that? If people are beating their meat and they're like, yo, dude, listen, it's cool. I'm enjoying life. I ain't hurting nobody. I mean, I guess that's kind of the difference with crack, is crack will actually, like, yeah, honestly, dude, like, addiction like that does kind of fuck up the lives of the people around you, because, like, I don't know, they want to rely on you for shit, and they rely on you being a functional human being, and then you're just, you know, you have that issue. But I mean, dog, listen, doing it in moderation, doing it in ways that are responsible, and, like, listen, I don't know if you can responsibly do crack. I don't know if that's a thing. But if you can, I don't think that I should be judging people who are doing that. I mean, if you're on the streets and you're, like, you know, causing terror to your community through the fact that you're always on crack and shit, I think that's kind of an issue. But, like, if you're just, like, doing cocaine or, like, whatever, I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about hard drugs to really comment at that point. But, I mean, shit, dude, it's the difference between being an alcoholic who is ruining the lives of people around you versus being someone who drinks when they want to have fun. And it's all good, because those are two separate things. I've dealt with both. I don't care if people drink, but I do care if people are ruining my time because they want to get drunk and being like fucking terrorists on the happiness of other people. That's the shit I have an issue with. And honestly, I don't see how pornography and consuming pornography would do that. In fact, I can't imagine a way. And if anything, pornography forces you to function as a normal human being, because you can't walk around watching porn and beating your meat. You can't do that. You can walk around drunk, you can walk around high, but you can't walk around with your dick in your hand, or else you go to jail. And that's my TED Talk.
Each time they felt sexual excitement and had an orgasm when they masturbated, a spritz of dopamine, the reward neurotransmitter,
I don't know, it sounds pretty dope.
Connections in the brain during the sessions. Not only did the reward facilitate the behavior they felt purchasing a Playboy at the store, here was a behavior with no punishment, only reward. What's interesting about pornography use in the past,
I don't see the downside here,
compared to modern pornography, is that in the 80s and prior, or whenever, you know, centerfold magazines were the main use of stimulation, that was actually a much more active relationship. Looking at a centerfold magazine, the viewer would still have to imagine having a relationship with that woman. There would still have to be a lot of imagination use involved. And it actually has been documented that it's a far more healthy expression of sex to imagine yourself as the leading role, so to speak.
I don't know, dude. If I'm having sex with my girlfriend, I'm not imagining myself having sex with her. I'm actually doing it, bro. So, I mean, isn't that kind of taken? I mean, bro, isn't that like the idea of VR porn and shit? Like, here's the thing. It's like, simultaneously, he's like, yo, dude, like, pornography is like taking all the imagination out of it, because you're just seeing it all happen, and like you aren't taking an active role. But at the same time, if you take it another step and do like VR porn, you would think that that would be even worse. But in reality, I think that, like, I mean, how is that different from in your brain? Like I was saying, how is your brain and your body know a difference? I don't think it does. I feel like this shit is like, it's not really like making a distinction between like the actual thing. Like, the idea is you're convincing your body that you're having sex. It's kind of like how women will take birth control to convince their body that they're already pregnant, so it doesn't get pregnant again, and also makes their periods better and stuff. I'm not an expert, but that's like the long and short of it. That's the gist of it, I think. I don't know.
You know, it's a woman and you imagining yourself with her, most likely. Whereas modern pornography, high-speed pornography today, is stripped of that.
Bro, okay, actually, hold on. I gotta be honest, dude. Like, if this is a concern, how come dudes in Nofap got no bitches, bro? How come you gonna be talking about how it's bad that you ain't got bitches, but then you don't got bitches, bro? Like, you like, yo, dude, pornography's bad because you don't gotta get bitches, and you still having fun, but I don't got no bitches and I'm not having fun. So at least, like, in both cases, we got no bitches, but in one case, I'm actually enjoying my life, and you're miserable eating raw potatoes to, like, not masturbate. I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like one of us is on a higher playing field. I feel like one of us is opening their third eye a little bit more. I don't know, dude. Like, I'm failing to see the argument for why Nofap is the way.
You are actually watching other participants engaging in this practice while the viewer is sort of on the sidelines in a far more cuckolded, creepy way. It's actually far more bizarre of an experience.
Is it though? I mean, I feel like if it's all consensual, it's not creepy, dude. I don't know if you've ever talked to a sex worker, but most of the time they're like, yeah, I want dudes to jerk off to me. And I think that's a big distinction. Is I think a lot of times, because we as men, especially if we are in the mindset that many men are when they're, you know, going through like the Nofap red pill lifestyle, we tend to view women as a monolith. There are plenty of women who are very uncomfortable with the idea of being objectified and they don't want dudes jerking off to them, and it's kind of gross, and like you should respect that. But then there are also women who are not those women, but different women who are like, yo, dude, I want that to happen. Like, I want people jerking off to me. I want to be objectified a little bit, as long as I have some agency over that. It's really just like a Puritan view on things to be like, yo, dude, I mean, listen, dog, if someone wants to be a cuckold, I'm not going to judge them. That's my take on it. Listen, if you want to be a cuck, be a cuck. There are plenty of people who vote Republican, even though they're working class. I might judge them more because they're fucking me over in the process. But if you're just being a cuck in the bedroom, that has no effect on me. So I don't care. Why is one okay but the other's not? And then the other's not. The one that's not okay is the one that's not harming me, but the one that is okay, I gotta respect their opinion as cucks, as they fuck over everybody. Like, listen, dog, I'm not fucking with this. Am I speaking English right now? I feel like I'm speaking in tongues. Bro, I love the second hour of this show because I just go off the rails. I just start saying shit to say shit. I have no train of thought. I have no argument going on right now. I'm just saying shit to say shit.
Because you are no longer, even theoretically, an active participant. And it's been shown that that sort of changed nature, that sort of...
Wait, but why is that different than the Playboy? Because, like, are you a photographer? I don't know. This dude's not making any sense to me. He's not making any sense. Do you not identify with pornography, bro? Like, I don't know, dude. When I watch it, I feel like I'm the cameraman. Just like when I look at Playboy, I feel like I'm the guy taking the picture. I don't know, dude. I'm literally so far gone. Bro, what am I even saying, dude? I have no idea what we're talking about anymore. I feel like I'm in a different dimension right now. I have no idea what I'm saying. What are we talking about? I think this shit broke me. I don't understand. This dude's just saying science words. And he's like, this is why you shouldn't masturbate. It's going into like, I went into a 7th grade classroom and talked about porn addiction, but also I didn't realize it at the time. I'm like, what are you even saying, dude? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not being convinced. The more I try and play along, the more I feel like I'm just like completely disconnected from reality. Cause like I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, who cares? Also, why do these dudes care so much about what other dudes are doing? Like, yo, if you don't masturbate, good for you, bro. Just keep that to yourself. I don't want to hear about your semen retention. Like, these homies made a religion around not masturbating, which is literally most religions to begin with. Why don't you just become Catholic? It's not that hard, dude.
Rear window, peering into something else sort of perspective causes a great deal of psychological damage to the effect where...
That sounds like a you problem. Why are you viewing it like that? Why are you viewing it as like a non-consensual thing, dude? Like, do you think that the performers in porn are not consenting to people seeing it? Like, what, like, why do people just not have a concept of consent around these things? Like, it's really not that difficult to comprehend. Like, yo, dude, in one case, you're being a creep because you're non-consensually viewing people in a vulnerable state that they don't want to be viewed in by you specifically. And in another state, people are like, yo, dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna just broadcast this shit to whoever wants to see it. And you happen to be one of the people who wants to see it. And that's cool, bro. Like, nobody cares. Like, it's cool. Like, it don't matter. Like, that's... I don't see what the issue is here. I feel like there's an issue here being created that's not really there. I don't know, dude. Like, this shit... I'm talking with my hands. I don't know what's going on. My brain is short-circuiting. I feel like whenever we go into the second hour here, if there's no, like, specific thing, I don't plan the second hour. I just go off the flow of, like, what we're gonna do. And then... I don't know.
Many men find that real sexual encounters are very alien. They're very out-of-body experiences. Alien is the word I'd use to describe how it felt when I tried to have sex with a real woman. It felt artificial and foreign to me.
Bro, honestly, dog, that... Who doesn't want alien pussy, though? Like, what's the conversation? Like, what's the issue there? Like, I don't know, dude. Who doesn't want a fucking alien? I don't know. Like, I've seen Mass Effect.
It's like I've gotten so conditioned to sitting in front of a screen jerking it that my mind considers that to be normal sex instead of actual real sex.
Like, y'all never seen Avatar, bro? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I mean, I think you just need to open your mind, bro. Like, what? I don't see the issue.
In 2015, researchers correlated porn use with decreased ability to delay gratification when they assessed porn users before and after a 30-day period. Next, they divided participants into two groups. Half were to abstain from their favorite food, and the other half were to abstain from porn. The porn abstainers scored better on their ability to delay gratification. The researcher said,
I mean, I feel like that's not comparable, because you're still gonna eat food. You're still fulfilling that biological function. I feel like you gotta get a little more specific, because porn is broad. Like, you gotta get down to a category. And at that point, I feel like most people are not comfortable with this study.
This finding suggests that internet pornography is a sexual reward that contributes to delay discounting differently, other than natural rewards. It is therefore important to treat pornography as a unique stimulus and reward, impulsivity, and addiction studies, and to apply this accordingly in individual as well as relational treatment. Something very unexpected that happened when I first stopped watching pornography was that my ability to concentrate increased almost tenfold. Not at first, of course, at first I had urges and these nervous itchings to go back to my old ways, but after about the 3-month period, I found myself very cool in the mind, very collected, and almost with tunnel vision on the objectives that I was trying to accomplish. And I also found myself looking at my life from a more bird's eye perspective with more long-term vision and with much more patience.
I don't know what to tell these people, because I'm like, dude, I feel like you don't need to do all that to figure that out. How about we just acknowledge this? Human beings are supposed to get sexual release, right? I feel like that's something that we can all agree on. Abstaining from that, after a while, you can condition yourself the same way you can condition yourself to not really need close bonds with people. You can condition your hair to like not need to be washed every day. You can condition yourself to take cold showers instead of warm showers. You can condition yourself to do a lot of things over time, and your body will adapt. But just because your body adapts doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing for you. Cool. But like, I feel like treating it as like an objective thing where it's like, this is something that all people must do, where this is all like, I feel like it's just kind of like selling a weird thing. And especially like if you try and look into Nofap, what they do is they don't even like send you like research papers. They try and sell you books. They try and sell you programs to not masturbate. And it's like, why is there a profit motive here? It's almost like you're preying on this idea. You're preying on this this taboo subject, the stigmatification. Is stigmatification a word? You're preying on that, on the fact that there's a stigma around masturbating and consuming pornography because we live in a very Puritan society. You are preying on that and the shame associated with it as a way to sell a product. When in reality, I think the issue is just the shame around it creates a very unhealthy relationship. I feel like if you directly address the fact that people are shameful about watching pornography or shameful about masturbation, and you just address that and you address the shame aspect of it, I feel like you're going to see a lot fewer people who are addicted to porn or addicted to masturbation. I think that's really the issue. I mean, for me personally, in my experience, I used to feel a lot of shame about it, and I felt like it was a problem. And now I don't have shame about it. I don't feel like it's as much of a problem. I feel like I have a pretty healthy relationship with these things, and I feel like I don't feel compelled to do it the way I used to. I used to have a very unhealthy relationship with these things, and I'm gonna be completely open about that. And then I stopped feeling so weird about it because I addressed the shame part of it, and I acknowledged like, yo, this is like a normal thing. It's very normal, and I stopped having the attitude of this guy, because I'm gonna be real. For a while, for a point in time, I was like, yeah, dude, I wish I could do Nofap, but I can't. I don't have the ability to do it. And like part of the reason I don't have the ability to do it is, like I mentioned earlier, I have really high testosterone, and that means I have a really high libido, which means that like trying to like withstand like not doing that is like very difficult for me, and actually causes a lot of the issues that he's claiming that he saw with like pornography and like masturbation and that shit. Like the issues that people claim like doing Nofap solves, I had those issues from trying to do it. And as soon as I just like addressed the fact like the social conditioning that was there with all that bullshit, I stopped having issues. So maybe they're addressing the wrong thing. And I think with that, I feel like that's the last cognizant, coherent sentence I'm going to say. The last coherent point I'm going to be able to get out, because my brain is fried. I think we can deem the red pilling the potential conversion from where I was at into Nofap we can consider that a failure. I think that they have failed. I think, to be honest, I wish we could have, I would have found like beefier, more comprehensive videos about it, but I don't know, couldn't find many, which is weird. Which is really weird, because like if you're trying, when you actually try and find like sources on this stuff, it's a lot of like, yeah, I end up finding like a lot of like programs and guides and like, here, buy this book about Nofap, and I'm like, I don't have that dedication, dude. But it's like so weird, because it's like, if you're trying not to find stuff, your recommended will be full of like, here's how, like, why you should do Nofap and all that stuff, and I couldn't really find anything. This is the best thing I could find. It do be what it be. It be do what it do. Or something like that. I think that's probably about the last coherent thoughts and sentence and point I'm going to make. Thank you everybody for coming out. Also follow Sugma Mail. Thank you Ernest. I don't know how to pronounce that. Thank you for following right at the tail end of the stream. Appreciate it. Remember to follow Tommy PQM everywhere. Sugma Mail on YouTube. Subscribe. Also, subscribe to the round table if you haven't already. That's where I came from. That's my origin story. And without further ado, I bid you all good night. And I'll see you all next week, 11 p.m. Friday night.
We have caught and compromised to a permanent end Osama bin Laden. But I feel damn proud to be an American.